Okay, so we're having a chat today. Schneider Electric, you've launched the Easy Modular Data Center all-in-one solution, if I got that right. So I suppose the obvious place to start is why now? What's the thinking behind the launch?
Yeah, thank you, Phil. So Easy Modular Data Center, the all-in-one system is really around meeting the customer's needs. The customer need is changing. We see that we've heard feedback from our customers, and we need to adapt our approach to be able to support their requirements now and going into the future. So the all-in-one Easy Modular Data Center is our latest range in our prefabricated system. It combines power, cooling, IT equipment all into a single pre-configured unit, which ultimately we can deliver to site within 12 weeks.
In terms of the sizes available, form factors, to give it a sort of posh name, are there various models available there? And you say it comes pre-configured. I mean, do people get any choice as to what goes in there, or do you pre-select all the components, or there's a list and people can say, well, I like that PDU or this, or how does that work?
Yeah, so where possible, for us to be able to get to the lead time, really, one of the feedbacks we've had from our customers is speed of delivery. How can we speed up that whole process? And for us to be able to do that, the options really is how can we standardize as much as possible within that Easy Modular Data Center. So we've got 4 standard form factors, really ranges from 5 to 14 racks, offers power density between 27 kilowatts and 94 kilowatts. They come pre-configured in either an ISO 20-foot container or an ISO 40-foot container. And really the design standardized around our Schneider Electric's easy range and easy solutions. So we have our easy racks, we have our easy PDUs and our easy UPS going in there. Obviously across those ranges, you've got different sizes as well. So you've got some variables to be able to choose from.
And in terms of the cooling, which is an important angle, what technology, what solution are you offering on that front?
It's so with this from a cooling perspective, we've gone with our in-row DX cooling system, mainly because of its ultra energy efficient qualities. We've got to design everything we do with sustainability in mind, and this is the best solution for the market.
Okay, and in terms of the sort of intelligence angle, I know obviously EcoStruxure IT is a big part of what you're doing and pushing at the moment, and DSIM, if I can use that word, which I think is still got a reasonable amount of credit around it. So is that sort of come with that, or it's just that you can obviously hook up the all-in-one solution to that intelligence? How does that work?
Yeah, so all of our modular data centers include enhanced remote monitoring, the management and service support from Schneider Electric's EcoStruxure IT expert DSIM software. So that's all available. The connectivity is critical in this space, particularly as a lot of the application is edge type solutions. The interesting thing around our DSIM DSIM offer at the moment is that we've recently announced an update of this software to reflect the range of different infrastructure scenarios organizations now face. So there's much more capability and flexibility for deployment in both enterprise and data center operators, with more custom integrations. And
I think earlier you mentioned about one of the main ideas behind this solution is obviously the speed of construction delivery. So just to re-emphasize, I mean, do you quote? I know some people say, we can deliver to site in under 2 weeks or whatever. Whether that includes the time it takes to get from the factory to wherever it is, debatable. I suppose in terms of construction delivery and I guess installation times and ease of installation. Just what are you sort of saying around that?
Yeah, so there's a number of things really that right at the front end, because we've standardized on a solution and gone with 4 form factors, we're able to streamline this design and commissioning process. We eliminate a lot of the upfront engineering work, and that allows us to bring the time scale down straight away. Because we've got a standard solution that's going into the containers, we're able to manage our stock availability and our stock management in a much more efficient way as well. So this all allows us to condense this the delivery time frame into what we've said is 12 weeks, but depending on the requirements and any adaptations, could be better still. So I was going to say, it's essentially, I was talking to someone about this the other day, and it's essentially a commercial off-the-shelf offer, but designed to be engineered to order requirements.
And I'm guessing as well, there's potentially a cost benefit. I don't know. Again, I know people say we're reducing costs, but compared to what? So is that compared to sort of previous owned Schneider offerings, comparable offerings in the market? Just give us some idea of that cost reduction aspect. Yeah,
so easily modular data center all-in-one solutions, we believe are on average around about 15% less expensive than an equivalent engineered to order offer. Still comes with the 20-year life cycle aspect to it. I think that there may be slightly more intangible aspect, but we know there is definite benefit on the back of it, is the total construction cost benefits. So the wastage you see when you try and put all of this together on site, you've got additional skips that you've got to hire, and there's loss of time where you don't have the right cable run or the right components, and you've got to go to your local distributor to go and pick it up. So all these variable time wasters and potential cost wasters, because it's all done off-site in a controlled environment with controlled systems and processes in place that allow us to minimize waste and maximize the uptime in terms of the build process. There's huge cost benefits in the total delivery of the unit beyond the price of the unit itself.
And in terms of sustainability, which again you referenced earlier, but I know Schneider, that's your bread and butter, sustainable solutions. I guess there's on the construction side, there's maybe something, but also in the performance of the solution, does that sort of play to sustainability as well?
Yeah, there's both aspects of it. So when, like you said, from Schneider Electric's perspective, sustainability is at the heart of everything that we do. So whatever we design, it's designed with sustainability in mind, whether that's the construction method, as we have in the upfront delivery of the unit. So all of our easy modular data centers are RoHS compliant and REACH compliant. They come with something that Schneider Electric call a product environmental profile, which is a embedded carbon stamp. Tells you the process and the environmental profile of the unit that we're providing. And then within the unit itself, clearly with the likes of DSIM and the in-row cooling units, we've incorporated features within it that really allow us to optimize energy savings and leave a smaller environmental footprint. And
are you finding that your customers is something, because I know we have chatted in the past, but are customers really demanding this of, when they're specifying kit, sustainability maybe was once a nice to have tick box somewhere down the the list of requirements. Now it's one of the most, if not the one of the, I know cost is still important, but sustainability, a lot of people are saying, is this A, how's it being made, and B, what's it going to do to my the performance of my data center? Is that right?
Yeah, we're seeing much more of this now. It's I think there's still more that can be done, but we'll always say that as we strive for a more sustainable world. But it depends. I think some segments and some sectors of business are further forward than others, particularly where government's involved. Then sustainability is very high on the agenda. One of the interesting things that we're seeing at the moment is the pre-qualification questionnaires that we get through to us in the construction process. there's a huge emphasis in the pre-qualification of suppliers that points to sustainability. And the scoring matrix in terms of success factor on tenders, we see sustainability starting to creep up there and becoming much more prominent in the scoring factor for success.
Okay, and just sort of slightly widen the conversation, and hopefully I'm not going to put you on the spot too much, but this all-in-one solution is the latest addition to Schneider's, if you like, modular data center portfolio. So are you able to give me that sort of, what does that range, how big is modular and how small is modular? What's your range looking like now?
Yeah, it is an addition to the range. It's not something we're taking away or swapping out. So the Easy Modular Data Center is really growing our portfolio. We still have our modular all-in-one data centers, which are self-contained modules for data center application. We have our modular data halls, which offer multi-modular solutions and allow us to scale and build out deployments. And then there's the modular room offer, which is a pre-engineered secure solution, but it's assembled on site in rooms. Beyond that, we also have the EcoStruxure micro data center, which are more single rack, self-contained enclosures that could fit into a commercial or industrial environment, and allow more of the I guess edge deployments.
And in terms of the sort of modular, I won't say debate, but the modular, what I'm trying to say is modular now the default way of building a data center, do you think, for the reasons, some of which we discussed, flexibility, cost, etc., or are there still people building a big shiny new data center and then attaching everything to the walls and then going, oh dear, it's not as flexible as I thought? Where does modular fit in the data center construction debate, I suppose?
I think it's not the only way forward. There are certainly different views around it. I think it's a lot of it's down to environmental factors as well. Speed to market, availability of local skill set, and how you're able to go and deploy a data center locally. There are massive benefits to the modular approach and off-site constructions, which starts to mitigate some of the skill set challenge. I think when I think more broadly around it, as companies continue to put more IT resources into the cloud, it puts greater emphasis on the need for edge data centers. And I think this is the area where we start to see modular becoming more prominent. It provides localized processing for applications that can either remain on premise or fairly local to the point of requirement and generation. And then you've got that same connectivity to cloud-based applications and resources.
And we could have a whole new conversation about edge data centers, and I expect we will at some point, but also without going too far into that, I mean, you've referenced that. It's been one of those sort of hype things that people have been talking about for 2 or 3 years at least, I suppose, edge computing. Just quickly, what are you finding? Are you now finding that sort of rollout is happening on a significant scale? Or are we still in the relative, you mentioned obviously cloud data and stuff, like, is it the hyperscalers that are doing this and ordinary businesses, if you like, not got that far? Where are we at with edge, do you think?
I think it's accelerating. I'm certainly seeing more of it, and the conversations are much more commonplace around edge today than they were when I first started in the industry, or in this industry, should I say, 4 years ago. It's definitely accelerating. We're seeing much more requirement for it. There's still more that's to come. I'm certain of it. You see in general business, in government application, we see a huge need for this. More and more data is being generated. More and more connectivity is required, local to the point of generation. And And that's the thing that's going to be the challenge going forward. I think this is where we have a huge opportunity for our EcoStruxure IT expert DSIM softwares, where you have this dispersed network of edge infrastructure and edge data centers, and really we want to. You're going to have to manage those in a very different way. You're going to have to be able to take data out of them and understand what's happening with them to really optimize performance and drive sustainability at the edge as well, which is one of the challenges we see today.
And maybe just in finishing, I mean, modular, a bit like edge, I suppose, the definition of edge is as many as people talk about it have different definitions. Modular, perhaps similar. I mean, do you think, Schneider, do you think you'd like to think that your portfolio now is pretty comprehensive around whatever anyone might mean by modular, and or do you think there's more to be done in the modular space, or as I say, is it there and it's now waiting for people to pick up and start deploying?
So we've got a very comprehensive range around our prefabricated modular data centers, from the easy range, which we've just launched, the all-in-one modular data centers, to the more specific engineered to order solutions, and then we have the single solutions, the EcoStruxure micro data centers, which I think there's loads of potential there, where we see that really ramping up and driving forward with it. It's interesting. So when I look across the range, I think we've got the range to be able to suit the market now and really deploy in most applications. When I think around applications, it really seems to meet a lot of the need that the market has. So when we think of prefabricated modular data centers in hospitals, for example, they can connect to cloud-based applications, allowing them to collect data from their instruments and infusion pumps and dispensing devices, and ensure that the patient receives the drugs that they require. And having that connectivity at the edge in a hospital is critical. The prefabricated data center will allow them to do that. I think of more harsh environments, and I saw an example the other day of a mining operation. Heavy machinery there, rock crushers and mobile trucks were largely unmanned in this example. They were controlled, operated and navigated by applications across the site, but unmanned. So they require that local network close to the source. And again, harsh environments and data haven't traditionally gone hand in hand. But a prefabricated data center really allows us to deploy in these types of environments. So when I look at what we have now, the great aspect around easy modular prefabricated data centers is that we've listened to our customers, we've understood what the common needs are. The applications we have today means that we have a solution across these four form factors that allows us to meet 80% of the customer needs in a very, very compacted time frame, and be able to meet their delivery requirements as well.
Okay, and finally, I promise, in terms of folks looking at this market, I mean, clearly a lot of people will already be aware of it and starting to make decisions, but if you're someone either new to it or you're beginning your journey, any one or two bits of advice when you're assessing different modular offerings, what are the sort of non-negotiables? What do people need to make sure that any solution is going to give them?
Yeah, I think you've got it's very much considering the environment where it's going to. The modular data center has to meet the environmental needs, whether that's a single rack deployment that's going on an industrial shop floor, and it has to have a level of IP rating, for example, to a large data center that's going to support a hospital, and where that's going to be placed within there. you have to consider the application and try and find the right solution that's going to go and meet those. The one thing I would say is have a conversation with us. Talk to us at Schneider Electric. As we've said, we have a number of different solutions available to us now. So there'll be a solution in there that will meet your customer's need, meet your requirements, and we can work with you to make sure that you get the right solution for your need.
Excellent. Well, Mark, I really appreciate the time you've taken out today. So thank you very much indeed. Thanks.
Oh, thank you, Phil. Great to speak to you again.